Okay guys, we are trucking right along. Last week we worked with pastels. This week we're back to painting. Maybe you're seeing a little bit of a trend there. We are talking about Monet. My printer's not working, so I'm using this beautiful thrifted book as the picture for the master's class. I actually think this could be an all-campus project. I will post a video for the ABCs and apprentices if you want something a little bit easier than this, but I think it's super fun. I love the Impressionists. I think it's going to be great for the kids because it is just painting what they feel. The technique we're studying in Monet is kind of like dabbling in paint, if you will. And it's going to be a super fun project. So a little bit about Monet. This is in your tutor binder. French painter, best known as the leader of the Impressionists, who were a group of painters that painted what they saw and felt rather than painting something exactly as it is. It says Monet painted anything from haystacks to grand cathedrals, but he's best known for his painted impressions of lovely gardens, reflections in waters of flowers and trees. One of his most famous paintings is the footbridge from a bridge that crossed his pond. So that is what we are going to be doing today. Here is a better picture of it. This is actually in the Louvre right now. But this we're going to be doing. Attending this, we see that the, there's highlighted, there's the light source. The bridge is going to be, I'm going to paint it like a blue-gray color, but the kids might want to do brown. And we are just going to kind of have fun with this and dabble in, I see some pinks, I see some light blues, some yellows, some greens, some kind of like dark hues, but we're just gonna be inspired and copy this the best they can. For supplies, the students will have a picture of this to work off of. They won't have, I don't think I'm gonna give them pencils at all. I think we're just gonna do the thing. They will have easels if they would like to use them. I wonder how I'm going to get this to stay open. We shall see. And then I guess for now I can just close it while I do the bridge. And then they're going to get their pencil boxes with their 2 brushes, 1 flat, 1 thin. They'll have 12 paint pots to choose their colors from, and then we'll have the paint station set up should they need anything, and then every table will have I think I have 8 of these total, 10 of them total, so 2 or 3 of these each if I can find the end. So what they're going to do first is they are going to make their bridge with this thin tape. So I'm just going to start here and work my way into like an arch. Doesn't have to be perfect as per the Impressionists. And then I'm going to try to do the same thing and match it to the bottom. So trying to make a similar curve. And then let me see how many. There's 1, 2. Looks like it's double-sided. I might not do that. I just do 4. Or even 3. Okay, so they all have their paint pots, their tape. They will tape off their bridge, and then they will get to getting. They'll have their foil as their little mixing area so that we can just throw that right away. And all students will have a little paper towel to dry their brushes. And okay, let's get started. I think I'm going to start with the trees first and then move on to the pond. So I'm probably just going to grab this green, and I am going to maybe dab this way all over. And it looks like the tree line kind of comes down here and then it kind of starts turning to water. Maybe go in with this kind of yellow. And this is literally all they're gonna do. They're just gonna dabble paint. So I'll kind of give you a baseline, but they can just paint what they see, paint the colors that they see. I'm seeing these different various shades of gray, greens and yellows. And I think this would be fun for the littles. I could maybe give them a bigger brush, so this is done kind of at a faster pace for them. Or they can just live their dream. I do see some kind of shadowy trees over here. So I'll bring in some black. Right, and then I might try to make a dark green with some green and black. I always forget that you just don't need that much black. And I could always go in with some white highlights to lighten it up. Okay, and then I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to get some white here. All right, and I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm going to move on to the pond, which I see a lot of light blues. I'm probably going to turn my brush this direction. And do it mainly in this light blues. Maybe at the end I'll come in and do that kind of like yellowy color. But I kind of love this. After some of the harder projects, this will just be really, really, really fun for them, I think. And I kind of like that my brush has that like green and gray. Or sorry, green and blue at the bottom. And blend it into the trees. I do see some light spots. Oh man. And here, so I'll go back in with some white. Already, I love it. It looks like there's some pinky hues, so I'm gonna grab some white here. White and red to make pink. And then I even see some just kind of like darker red tones here. See some browns at the bottom. Okay. And obviously this would dry a little bit before they removed their tape. We're gonna just do the big reveal now. But honestly, I would love if all classes could do the same project this week. But you guys can let me know what you think. I even like it just the negative space. And I do think it's best to do just 3. They can do more if they want. I think that's really beautiful, or they could go in and do the kind of blue-gray situation. I'll use my thin brush for this, but it would be just a little bit of black and this light blue. I think that's really kind of perfect. And then I think the theme, I was thinking about this earlier, really this art series is all about like looking for the light, which is such a cool parallel into kind of what we went through with Christmas and Jesus being the light of the world, and kind of the whole idea behind CC being to know God and make him known. And yeah, I feel like if anything, they take away being able to look at a famous artist painting and identify the light source, then this art season will have been a win. And then I will come in and look for the light. So there's some highlights here and kind of on top. So I'm gonna just grab plain white and I'm gonna do that same thing. Looking for the light. Looking for the light. So yeah. That's it. I think it's beautiful. I think it was so fun, so quick. I will post kind of the Art by Allie inspiration for the younger class, but this is Claude Monet, and that is that.